I'm doing this for the rest of my workday. Gonna be working on a map that I'm gonna need for the next session of Beginning of the End, and it looks like maybe I have the music a little high relative to me. Just a second. We're just listening to some random stuff on YouTube this time. Because I don't really have a singular game playlist that's going to be the right mood for this the whole time. So we'll see how this one goes. This is Dungeons and Dragons City Temple music. It's not like quite the vibe of the temple that I have in mind, but hopefully it's close enough. Hello, one placeholder, and hello, Duckman. Hey, Aram, bit of an early question today. If you could make a Beginning of the End Soulsborne game, what kind of equipment and/or abilities would you be able to use? Any ideas on bosses? I think if you wanted to do justice to the setting, Soulsborne would be a little tricky because I feel like the most distinctive thing that's been focused on in terms of like unique and special powers is are the runes, and particularly the shaping, since that's the only one that a player character has, so we see it the most. And that ability is notoriously difficult to translate to a game, because, you know, just like it's hard to design a D&D dungeon around the party wizard having the pass wall spell, it's hard to do level design if you're going to try to incorporate a power that can very readily be used to change terrain. So you'd kind of either have to chicken out and heavily limit what you could actually do with that power if you wanted to include it, or you'd have to do something more like, I don't know, I haven't played this game yet, I just got it on Steam sale, but Noita, the like roguelike that's like every pixel is simulated and physicsed and stuff, like I feel like you'd have to do a game design like that if you were gonna allow for that power. Are you allowed to be here? I don't see why not, Oz. I'm not gonna be talking about any spoilers, and there's nothing you're gonna see that you're not about to see anyway. So yeah, I think it's fine. But shaping aside, if you were going to do a Soulsborne and you just weren't going to worry about that, and you were just going to say, we're not doing terrain stuff. I mean, I think you'd want the classic Bronze Age weapons. Instead of such a heavy emphasis on swords, I think you'd have a lot of spears, axes, throwing weapons, which, because Soulsborns are usually lock-on based, I almost think it would be more fun to do like a Mount and Blade style, combat system that's more like physics based, so you could do, you know, archery and ranged weapons and have them be, you know, aim based more so than just I'm locked onto a guy based. And then, yeah, I think a lot of, you know, Soulsborne magic stuff is stuff that you could do with runes. You could do fire stuff. You could do, you know, freezing. Maybe you could do fun stuff with some of the other runes that I won't go into too much detail on, because some of those ideas I've already used or am planning to use. Yeah. Points to Farum Azula, Scan. I don't know what Farum Azula is, Oz. Please enlighten me. Anyway, the map. As you can see, we're starting from pretty close to nothing here. I don't know if this is the right size. This is just the size I'm starting with. This is a slightly tricky one. because this is intended to be... Thank you, Savvy, for letting me know. Also, hello to you as well. This is intended to be a fairly iconic location as temples go, and so I don't want to do, you know, quote-unquote, just another temple. I want this one to be very visually distinctive and have its own identity, and so the first idea that I've had... I was gonna start... I was gonna start stream sooner, but, because I'm starting from scratch, I didn't want the first 45 minutes of stream to be me sitting here with a blank canvas being like, gee, what should I make? So I've done a little bit of thinking, and I think I want to start with the flow direction is, I think, going to be south to north. You know, the entrance is going to be somewhere down here. And the first thing that I thought of to start with is I'd like to have some unusual shapes and angles for walls. In particular, I think I want to put a big pillar or like a stone tree or like a triune of back-to-back statues or something, and then have some archways coming off of it to either side, but not directly left and right. I want to do, I think, like stairs like this. Wi-Fi signal. And then have two arches you can pass through, and then some kind of divider, you know, like here. So the chamber beyond at least the first part of it will be actually, you know, there will be something over here and something over here. It's not going to be purely symmetric. That's so that's my idea as a starting point. And then what do I want to the north then? Let's see. If we go up, and this is divided into east and west sections, does it reunite? And if so, how? Armazul is an endgame-ish area where it's all Dragon Town made of rocks and weird prehistoric beastmen being held aloft in time by an eternal tornado. Neat. I did not make it that far in Elden Ring. Let's see. Yeah, so this is the area that this temple is in. It's in this place called the Hallows. I don't think this is one of the maps that I've released on the Patreon yet. But this is the vibe. And let me also... this also is the vibe. In fact, I should probably have that open in case I want to color pick from it. Let's see. Feels like maybe... Oh, there's an idea. Maybe this gives way, the initial, like, wall here that's separating the east and west parts, maybe that could give way to, like, a big central, either, like a pool of water or a pool of this mystery glowing grungus, which is recolored, it's hue-shifted lava from the Vile Tiles Fire Temple pack. And just have a big thing there that's illuminating the whole room. It's a shame I'm not an artist in the sense of being able to really do a lot of like custom shading and shadowing, because this is the area of the city that would most benefit from it. if I had a really strong sense of like, yeah, there's going to be one really strong light source, and then I want all the shadows to be cast by that. That is an instance where being able to just draw freehand with any skill would serve me well. So I'll probably just have to cheat. Let's start with this. I'm not gonna worry too much about the boundaries and the walls yet. But let's try and figure out a general size for this. Let's make this pillar, or whatever exactly this is gonna be. A token is a square, but a square is not necessarily 5 feet per se. Tell you what, let's make this, I guess it is already about 4 wide. Yeah. I guess, I think I'm gonna need custom walls for this. How do I want to handle that? Here, let's grab this, and I go walls, outline-ish, give or take. Let's do need to snap to grid. Let's do a 4 square circle here. Yeah, that's, is that the width I want? And then that would make this, yeah, that looks okay. So let's do that, and, wait, oh, yeah, that's, okay, there we go. That's 4 squares, not 3.5. Yeah, we got like this, and, real quick, let's drag this so that it's more like actually on top of that. Okay. So now, the walls outline, let's just go ahead and, that's not black, is it? No, that's like slightly off black. Yeah, let's make that black. And then, if I want to do like archways, I'm probably not going to make wall for that per se, more because I have a very specific visual language that indicates to the players what they can do on a map, and so if I have wall, like if I have an area like this that's black, it means you can't walk here. You cannot walk through this, you cannot walk under it. So I would not want to change up that visual language and use that to do these archways, because that would discourage the players from walking, quote-unquote, through that. So I'm gonna want other assets for that. Let's see. Show me arches. Could do naturalistic ones, potentially. That might be interesting. I haven't quite decided on the vibe of the interior decor of this place, like how sculpted versus naturalistic. This area, though, has looked pretty sculpted, so that's probably not what I'll want for this one. Got our ruin stone arches. Those are probably not quite large enough. Yeah, not really. Unless I cheat somehow. I'll leave this in case I decide I want to try and do something with that. And sure, let's get one in this orientation. Actually, no. That's the... Oh. That's not the top-down one. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. I want these. Leave them there. Don't think we want post-apocalyptic girder arches. Yeah, these I have used. How large are these? Again, kind of too small for what I'm looking for here. Not sure that I'm gonna have what I need here. Let's see. Bridges maybe could work. What do I have for bridges? Whoop. Come on, man. Show me what these actually are. Don't just be like, it's a file, lol. Okay, there we go. Maybe. What's one where the arching is really, really prominent? Okay. This has a shot, maybe. I'd probably want to change out the cobblestone aspect of it. Oh, oh, that's right. These are like custom bridges that I made for... I didn't know I saved these. I made these for Arampain back in the day, Arampain. Okay. It's probably too short. We got 4x6, 4x8. Okay, yeah, and we're getting somewhere. Same length, wider, if that's what I want. And then 6x10. Okay, yeah, this is the longest option with the most pronounced curve of the blocks. Okay. This temple music is not quite doing it for me. This is too, like, I'm just a normal Catholic man. This is probably not quite gonna be correct either, but... let's try this. I want a little bit of spook. If this might have too much jungle ambiance, but we'll give this a shot. I might not even notice the jungle ambiance, actually, because the cicadas where I live are going fucking apeshit right now. They're really loud. So I might just be like, yep, sure is cicadas. Let's see... so what I really need is just something that curves up. A texture that can sit in there and give the clear impression that this is an overhang, not a wall. Okay. Well, out of curiosity, I'm gonna get a little copy of this. If I were to rotate you at, say, a 60 degree. Yeah, so that could stretch pretty far. This is the central piece here. Yeah. Just this little schmingle here. Yeah, that could be good. In fact, let's grab just that part. Let's see. We want like this down to here. Okay. I guess we can keep the shadow. Well, not really, because part of it's on this. Yeah, alright. We'll just, we'll get rid of the shadow. And I'll re-implement it later if I want it. We want to keep that, and we want to keep... it's a little too far. Not quite far enough. Eh? This thing's a little janky, huh? It kind of swings inward. Alright, we'll try this. there. A little lower. A little further. Yeah, that looks good. Whee! All the way down to here. Boop. Beep. Okay. And I guess I do want this shadow because this doesn't have any texture that I need to get rid of. So yeah, let's keep it for now. So we're gonna invert. I guess let's feather this just slightly to clean up the edge and. Okay. So we got our two sides of thing here. We want them. And then give me a copy of that. Let's do a little rotato here. Do like that. And then give me another one, and we'll do the opposite. Wait, no, hang on. If I want the shadow to not be fucked up, what should this shadow angle would be different, wouldn't it? Do we have an east-west bridge that matches this? Was that 6 by 10? 6 by 10. Yeah. What is the shadow? It kind of just looks the same anyway. As just that, but rotated. Okay. Then I guess we do 60 120? Yeah. Like this ish. Alternatively, if we flip that and then do 120, then we have the lighter parts both here, and then the darker ones at the end. Yeah, we'll just try that for now. So do something like that. You know, stick these at a similar place. I guess something like where it's roughly flush with this, so right about here. And then right about here. Or here. Here? Yeah. Yeah. That looks good. The snapping is kind of fucking me up, but there we go. So that'll be our archway. And if I do a little re-angling, I can maybe even realize this vision of this being not actually, like, square across, but instead coming to a point, which I think might be neat. I'm not quite sure what that'll look like, but I can try that, maybe. And then, let's see. We're probably gonna want... let's see. The central thing. It's gonna be wall, but I don't think it's just gonna be black. I think this is gonna be some kind of dark stone. It's gonna be a weird mishmash of wall leading into something here. What is my biggest tree asset? I think in here... trees. I think there's a couple, like, crazy, enormous ones. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, this is all branches. It's not a large trunk that's actually visible. So that doesn't super help for the texture that I'm imagining that I'd like to try and realize. Okay, show me rock. That's gonna get a lot of stuff. Oh, there it goes. Got these kind of painted looking rocks. Some of these are pretty large, right? Ish. Not that large, but could be something to that. I know some of these are pretty big, these painted rock formations. Mainly, I'm interested in something that gives the impression of sloping upwards instead of just being an outer boundary line and then, the interior is entirely black. Even though that is kind of accurate to how maps are rendered from a top-down perspective, it's not necessarily what I want here. Something like that could be a start. Got some boulders. How large are these? Oh, pretty small. You call that a boulder? Couldn't even drop that on Wile E. Coyote. Ooh, pillars. Hello. That's getting there. Rock pillar. Damn, I have, EMP. What pack is this? Where's fucking go to file location? There we go. DMP. Desert Mapper. Well, Mr. Desert Mapper. Perhaps I've underutilized you. Yeah, we got some interesting stuff here. No, okay, I've used some of these rock spikes, I know. I've kidnapped them to be a part of other maps. This is like the largest one. Yeah. Yeah, I think this might be... that might be something. And unfortunately, again, the shadow is not really quite what I want, because the shadow implies overhead sun casting at an angle, which is does not exist in here, but that's how it be. Map those deserts. Desert mapper. Mapping deserts, are you? Is this a giant stone skull? Awesome. Maybe I'll have use for that at some point. Okay. Okay. Yeah, and in point of fact, while we're here looking at desert stuff, show me Egyptian decor again. Because this is probably going to have a lot of the right vibes as well. I forgot they have hieroglyphics. Not that I can really use them in this campaign setting, but it's neat. Mummified giant baboons. Got our choice of various obelisks. I think I used those for some of the roof business here. Yeah, and then these statues are fairly large. Okay. I've also got new stuff. Gabriel Pickard made a third Greek pack. Greek extras that has some additional furniture, broken pots, and most crucially of all, it's got yet more statues. which are, frankly, something you always need. You need so many fucking statues, dude, to make maps for Dungeons and Dragons. It's crazy. Yeah, there's some good options in there. Also got statues that are like flesh-toned and colored, like clothes and things. I don't know if these are meant to be like statues come to life, or I guess they're just painted statues. Did they do a lot of flesh-toned, naturalistic statue? Like, I'd feel weird looking at a statue colored like this, personally. It's like, you know, there's a reason they don't make store mannequins flesh-toned. Anyway. Yeah. One of these, perhaps, as a central element. And then the statues. The statues. Let's see. What happened? The statues. Yeah, let's grab some of. You know what? Let's try out some of these new Greek boys. That looks. This could be a man in a robe. A little small. This is a man going through it. Let's see. This is a man holding the lid of like a sugar pot in one hand, looking inside of it, being like, where'd the sugar go? Not realizing you're holding the lid, dude. That's not the part that has the sugar in it. Yeah, we got some nice options here. I know I've got some fuck off enormous humanoid statue. Like exactly one that's just gigantic. I don't remember what pack it's from, though. Ooh, the bird song. Ooh, oh, the bird song. Everybody's calling my bird wrong. Is it this one? Yeah, I think it's this one. Yeah, so if I want a statue that's large enough to be the whole thing here, there's this guy. But I have used him quite a bit already. Maybe instead of just 3 statues, it's a whole, like, panoply of figures emerging from the stone. Put this guy in front. Little crouching guys here having a bad time. I think I'd prefer the ones that don't have the square platform coming out from them. Oh, that's right, I forgot I got giant hands, too. What is this you've linked, Oz? Ah. Yeah. Yeah. The cluster. That's the sounds they make if you listen closely enough. This one's pretty good. Something like that. These hands are so silly. Let's see. We got a snake, we got a dragon. We got Lady Justice. Oh, damn. I just realized these aren't actually new statues. These are the same ones from the Greek pack. They're just rendered in bronze, which is useful, but I can already pretty comfortably overwrite textures anyway, so that actually doesn't add a lot new for me. Oh well. There's still good stuff in that pack. Let's see. We got a horse. We got too small. Yeah, I need the ones that are at least 2x2. We got some... We got man facing this way, I suppose. We've got... monkey. Bird. Man standing stock still with arms at sides. Different pose. Monkey. Penis butter. Yeah, okay, and then this pack is all, yeah. These ones look okay. They can be a little hard to intermix with ones from other packs because they've got a slightly different art style. Like the lining around them is a little more obvious. Golem being like, where did my lunch go? I left it on the table right here. Where are my other statues? I have so many statues. What do you mean we're looking at the desktop? That is not what my desktop is. Get out of here. Craft furniture statues. You've got a bunch of stuff, right? Most of which I've already used pretty heavily, but like I can sneak. I can sneak and I can deke. Yeah, that could work. Actually, don't think I've used this one that much. These ones, these packs unfortunately have some crud around them that you can see that I usually have to clean up. I need to just, like, do the cleanup and then save over them at some point, but I keep forgetting. And then... this and this out of here. These statues have been smoking. You wouldn't think this would be especially noticeable, but it really, really can be, especially if you re-texture these. Let's feather and delete. There we go. Decrudded. So we can use him. Okay. We've got a good number of statues here. So I'm going to try and kind of blend them into this, I think. And I'll have to decide if there's going to be actual wall around this, or if I'm just going to let this be this naturalistic one. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to tinker with that probably to decide how I want it, but for now, we'll just assume, you know, that's gonna be there. Get some of this out of the way. As we contemplate what is, what's coming up after this? Well, let's, get back on our walls outline layer real quick. Give me a rectangle select. Yeah, how far do I want this? I'm always leery of creating too large of spaces, because, haha, a little secret for you. Whatever size space you create is the size space you then need to fill. Was one reason why I don't always do full outlines before I start furnishing, because sometimes I start and I'm like, this is more space than I want to furnish. Let's be conservative. I do want this to be a large feeling space, but it doesn't have to be enormous. We do pool. What did I did something like that in, the White Sanctuary, didn't I? It's got a pool. Yeah. I don't remember what this is, actually. This is something... This, I think, is from... I think I hacked something out of the Cobblestones pack. I don't know what the fuck the fountain, this water is. That must be, like... Vile Tiles River or something. But... Water fill, I can do. I have done it before. I know how to make that work. So... Why don't we just... Oh, I know. Why don't we just use, let's see. Grab me... map assets. Grab me these, Actually, did I did this also, didn't I? I want to reuse work wherever possible. It was this. Yeah, I grabbed this. And... Okay. What are you? How large are you, sir? Oh, okay. You're very pink. Happy Pride, everyone. July 8th, don't give a shit. Happy Pride. Yeah. Yeah, sure. But do I have one that's wider? Because as it is with this, if I wanted to make it, like, as wide as this, I'd have to kind of, like, expand it out and clone stamp more ground and stuff, so that's not necessarily going to save me time. So, original idea. Let's look at... where's this fire temple thing? Savor's Cave, here we go. Gabriel Pickard and his clever naming schemes. Yeah, something like this could work, except... maybe. Why not have anything that's just like this, but wider? Because that's really what I want. Maybe we can see if I can do something with that. Oop, you're not. You don't have an alpha channel. Get out of here. Okay. We're in Pride 2 now. Yep. Well, we were in Pride 6. Now we're in Pride 7. Every month is Pride month. Yeah, if I can, it's unfortunate that this is already re-hued, because that means I might have some trouble blending it with this. Unless I can figure out exactly how much I re-hued this by to get it to that pink. Oh, that looks so cool. It's not the right shade for this area. This area is more like this, but damn, that looks fucking rad. Use that sometime. It's something like this, I think. Yeah, it's like a little redder. Yeah, it's around about this. Very, very, Hawaiian Punch or Kool-Aid coated. That's too red. Yeah, I think it's about here. So can I enwiden this? If I... Are you centered? Oh, it's because you've got this weird extra shit off to the side. Here, you are now cropped like this, sir. No, no, it's still not centered. Fuck! Alright, we'll do it visually. Just make our best guess. Yeah, that should be about centered. Okay, so if we split this down the middle. Are we on the light red layer? Okay, snip. Let's... Yeah, so the size we'd want would be like this and this-ish. That was there. Yeah, something like that, I think. Hello, Teal Chorus. Thank you for stopping in. Yeah. Yeah, we do something like this. And then I'm gonna need to grab this. I need the part that doesn't have a random shadow on it, because that's not gonna look right. Yeah, grab me like this from here. Okay. And then that's still not quite... Yeah, I still need a little more than that. Or... Okay, no, here's what we'll do. It's gonna be easier to make more of this just like floor than it's gonna be to make more of this lava, quote unquote, and have it like actually look good. So I think what we're gonna do is we are going to here. Let's grab this on down from this layer. Snip and snoop. And we're going to Dragon Corp. It's a growth market. We'll keep that one in mind as well. Yeah, if we do like this, and then grab me this side, to here, all the way down. There we go, and And I'm in layer hell with this thing, but I can fix it up in a second. Yeah. Okay, so if we do like this. And then we are still going to have some work in front of us if we want to try and make this the length that we want. So I need to figure out what that length is. Because I don't want to do extra work. I need a... I need to actually give myself a proper outline here so I know what space I'm working with. So, we got these arches. They're going to be roughly here. We got this thing. We know the entrance is somewhere down here. Let's say, for the sake of argument, that the arches do go this far, and so I don't want to snap to the grid right now, thank you, and so the outermost layer is, you know, something like this, where the wall is. And you might say, Aram, isn't that going to be a horrible nightmare to try and make a wall look that way? Oh ho, my friends. If you weren't here when I showed it off before, let me blow your fucking mind a little with this one weird trick. Let's see, what angle do we want? If we have it go to, now I do want to snap to the grid again. If we have it go to here and here. That's equidistant. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Is it intersecting this? It's not quite perpendicular. This needs to be a little longer. Let's try that. Yeah, that's very close to being a right angle, which is what I want. You might say, Aram, isn't that going to be a horrible nightmare, making the wall look that way? Ho ho. Ah ha ha. Ah hoo hoo. Ah hee hee. Here, let me quickly save off this. Okay. So, we got the selection here. I need to actually lock this in. Okay, there. So, do I have my special? I think I should have my special tool. Yes. Custom walls. Fit to any selection. Unlimited power. So, yeah, we'll do something like that for the lower wall here, I think. And I'll figure out a door later, but yeah, it's gonna be like this. Yeah, we've got, this is at a small enough angle that I'm confident I can just fit doors on the bottom without that being a problem. So we'll do something like that, and here we can, I'll do that later, but yeah, we'll have our outer wall be something like that. Anyway. Basilica of the End said, no accessibility. You don't walk good? Die. I mean, yeah, we're still many millennia prior to the Americans with Disabilities Act, TBH. One of the rare and interesting ways in which America is ahead of the curve on, like, social equity for a class that might otherwise be marginalized is the ADA is a very robust and very good and positive piece of legislation that you tend to miss immediately if you go visit pretty much anywhere in Europe, or probably even, I guess I don't know about Canada, but certainly you go anywhere in Europe and it's like, ah, if you are in a wheelchair, you are in for a bad time. Let's see. Just gonna Tiaminos and slide on in there, yeah. Yeah, I don't understand. If you can't walk that well, why not just manipulate the floor under yourself to escalator you wherever you want to do? Are you stupid or something? Okay, so back on this layer, if this is going to be our southern wall of the building, I want to have, I think I'll go at just, this is not a 45-degree angle. So, what does that imply? It's not going to go out to a perfect diamond here, I guess. Yeah, if we do it like this, then the natural direction of the wall would suggest something like... this, then. The level of intersectionality required for someone to be like, I'm disabled, but not like that. Pull up those bootstraps. Let's see. Do I want straight wall here? In straight wall in Pride Month? Let's get rid of these random squiggles that were just there because I was talking about something, because they are in the way now. We got our arch. This is not where the end of the arch is going to be. This is just where it currently is because that's how the asset existed. Yeah, do I do line and then right angle? What is the flow here? I was kind of imagining entry to, or like, you know, stairs up, main entries, two kind of their own little rooms that have their own stuff going on, and then a large central chamber here. So the question is, how are these rooms going to be shaped to then connect to that? Get this out of the way. I don't think... If this is going to be straight up and down, I got to get back to right angles at some point. Or I got to get back to cardinals at some point. But how exactly? Oh. Maybe I could do... I could make a whole bunch more work for myself. If this goes out into some kind of... curve. Hang on. Show me... one-to-one. Give me a perfect circle real quick. This... So what I'm thinking now is it possible to have this, rather than just this chamber goes up to a certain point and then it's like, here's a wall that is suddenly at a horizontal, such that when we get into the next space, we're back to cardinal directions. Wondering if we could maybe do some kind of funky overlook thing where whatever's going on in this room, it's like, you know, it comes to kind of more of a curve, and then there's like a little sequence of terraces that leads down into this room. Because, like, if you futz around with curves like that, you can kind of get away with things not being, you know, rigidly right-angled without it just looking random. Or without it looking awkward, because you've got, like, things that are nearly straight and then things that are truly straight, so then the things that are slightly not straight look wrong. You gotta kind of, you know, you gotta contrast the shapes enough that it looks intentional. So what if we pattern this like a big circle, and then these chambers, these front ones, stick to that circle in such a way that then... I don't know. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I know I want to do, you know, like, I want this to be different and memorable. So this would certainly, you know, doing something like this would certainly accomplish that. It is more work. But... Don't cry, Tentomon. Izzy, the map's at a weird angle and I have to do all these custom walls and staircases. You know what occurs to... I don't think I know... Well, I can't do anything about that, Tentomon. Is that what Izzy sounded like? I don't remember. A little bit. Okay, I'll take that. Marissa would be very upset with me. My casual lack of knowledge of how Izzy Digimon sounds. Not gonna lie, gang, the 30-degree angle here is really kind of fucking me over. I might change it to 45. Because then I could go into directly into like a diamond shape instead. Upsetty. Freddy Upsetty Spaghetti. Diamond shapes are neat. Yeah. Marissa would probably care more about how Wormmon sounds. That's true. Oh, Ken. Gosh, Ken. Are you committing war crimes again? Oh, my Wormmon sounds a little Canadian. We're not like actual Canadian, but stereotype Canadian. Oh, Ken. I love that little guy. He's dead now. Yeah. How do I cheat? Maybe I just go for big circle. Like a big circle. I'd have to get the sizing just right based on how long I wanted these arches to be. But if I could manage, if I could put big circle somewhere where the arches are roughly flush, or flush is the wrong word, where the arches are intersecting it in a way that the thickness of the arch, it doesn't, you know, the angle doesn't look fucked up on one side because of it being taking up too much of the circumference of the circle. So I'd have to play with sizes and positions, but maybe I could do something like that, and then the whole circle is this first part. It splits into these two sides. And then has, like, terraced stairs that lead down into a space. sake of argument, because I'm just sitting here staring and doing nothing right now. Give me this thing again. Or, I guess, give me... Hang on, was it this? Yeah, okay. Give me this. How do you look at if you were just at a 45-degree angle? So you had like that, and then that. Ugh. If I were trying to work with 45-degree angles, the arches would be more like... Diamonds are also neat. It's a shame the De Beers company / human greed had to ruin them. Yeah, artificial scarcity is a bitch. Here, let's ghost these out a little bit. I don't want to move them or hide them because I might lose track of them in the giant disorganized layer stack, but if those were like this, and then these guys would have to be, they'd be a little further down. Hide you for now, statues. These guys would be more like here. You do arch and arch roughly here. I guess it would be a little forward because you'd have whatever the width was, but you know, they'd intersect something like this. And then the other side of it would be there, and then you would just do 45-degree angle lines. So you'd do like you'd be more like about here probably, and you would do like, you know, or this. Let's pick a grid section so it's easier to draw at a 45-degree angle, but you'd do something like that. And then eventually you would, whoop, oh, you do like this. Maybe into like a straightaway. I guess that looks okay. It's just not, it's not as different, you know? I like my 30-degree arches. They're funky. They're weird. Funky little freaks. I guess 60-degree angle is what I'd be working with. I shouldn't have all this on this. I should have been doing the two versions of this on different layers also, but here. If I get rid of, backtrack a little. So this is a 30-degree angle, which means that's just this, right? This, because it's 1, 2. Am I insane? Is that what a 30-degree angle is? I don't know anymore. This is 1 to 1, so that's 45 degrees. Oh, Christ. This is very simple trigonometry. Hang on. 1, rad 3, 2 is a 30-degree angle. Fuck. That means it's not 1 to 2. It's 1 to rad 3. Ugh. Ugh. Math. No, that's, yeah, rad 3. Gugh. Gugh. Terrible. What am I supposed to do with that shit, huh? Nothing. Fuck. Yeah, it all just comes back to how do I reconcile that into this? I guess I could just say fuck it. Just have it go into that. Or, you know, like this at some point. That's probably less gross to try to make work. The answer is easy. Find a protractor asset. You're so right, Banthor. Also, thank you for your first time chat here in my channel. I can also soften the shift in angle with like a column. Columns are the secret magic sauce for make it with walls won't look quite right when they connect directly. Just put a column at the intersection. No one will know the difference. Okay. Yeah. We'll go with it. I'm gonna keep the 30 degrees. I'll find a way to make it work. I want it badly enough. So, get rid of the 45-degree boys. I got a fever of 103. Come on, baby, do you do more than dance? I'm hot-blooded, I'm hot-blooded. Whoop. Put these out of here for now. Go ahead and, this is gonna connect up somewhere here. Here's how we can, here's how Bernie can still win. Here's how we can get the angle right here. Let's just, a little bit of this. I forget sometimes that the line tool in GIMP barely exists. It's very weird. Yeah, if we take this angle, yeah. If you hold down Control, you get increments of 15 degrees. So actually, yeah, no, we'll be fine for getting the angle right. Do we have an intersection with the grid anywhere handy? Not really. That's okay. The grid doesn't super matter most of the time. I think what we'll want to do then is just... That's so wide, man. That's so wide. I can't do that. That's gonna be so much space to fill. Yeah, it'll be something like this. Alternatively, we can use the archway to conceal that. Here, if I figure out the exact width that I want these at, for which I should probably go ahead and, yeah, I should do it with this. You don't want to rotate assets any more number of times than you can possibly get away with by any angle other than 90 degrees. Because anything that's not a 90-degree angle is not a... You can't just map the pixels directly. You have to recalculate them and do some fuzzing to average them into where they should be. And so every time you rotate by an arbitrary angle, the image quality goes down. Little tip for you. Not a GIMP-specific thing. That's digital art. There is no perfect algorithm for lossless rotation by an arbitrary angle, and so every further rotation, you're making it look worse. You're making me look bad! Let's see. We just go for a nice clean 1 square's worth? No, because then an icon can sit directly under it and be, like, entirely obscured, which you don't really want. So, I'm gonna go for, like, this, maybe. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a super precise measurement, but we'll make it about this width. And now I also have to decide if I want to do this cute little pinch arch that comes to a point at the other end. It's kind of neat. Ah! Wasteland Hatter Productions, rating was 6. I know you're also a mapsman. Were you perhaps working on maps of your own this fine day? Let's see. Negative 60. No, positive 60 was what I did for this one. So if I do... Let's try 55. What does that get me? Oh, yeah, that's kind of neat. I'm not 100% sure if I can quite make that work. Nay, bringing some sprouts through FF14. Ah. Friends of yours? This doesn't work very well coming off of the circle, I'm realizing, because it's not like... This should be further... If it was going to be perpendicular with the circle, it would actually be like this. It would get wider. This, I guess I could just do that. Yeah, what the fuck am I talking about? This isn't a problem. Yeah, no, that's neat. I think we'll go for it. Do something like that. Yeah, that was a funky little freak. Okay, in which case, we know 5 degrees is the magic number that I think we're gonna go for. So, grab this. Rotate this. Oh, that is actually gonna be an issue. Nope, I'm gonna take my own advice. We're not gonna do the extra rotation. We will just have to freeball this a little. So what I was about to do was rotate it 5 degrees here, make a single one of these, and then rotate that to the correct orientations for either side so that they'd be exactly symmetrical. But then that means the one that I'm rotating 5 degrees here is going to rotate twice, so it'll look worse. So we're not going to do that. Instead, we're just going to do our best. Rotate... oh, actually, I just realized there's one other thing that's not correct here, which is this is the one that's casting the shadow, so we want this to rotate 55, and this one to rotate 60. Yeah. A little further than halfway through ARR. So that's what... the Titan arc or thereabouts? Well, if so, good luck to them. The Titan into Garuda is, in my opinion, the hardest stretch of 14 2.0 MSQ to get through. Everyone complains the most about Titan, but actually, for me, it was the Garuda arc that I stopped playing on for several weeks. Yeah, something like this. They just beat Garuda. Oh, okay. I guess if your ARR, if you're counting that as everything prior to Heaven's Ward, then... maybe that is the halfway point. That's surely much more than halfway through 2.0 ARR. Because after Garuda, there aren't any more primals, right? It's all just gearing up to fight, like, Gaius and friends. Let's see. Yeah, that looks good. And then the other side... we've got our man, we need, no, that's the statue. Uh-oh. Did I fuck myself? Did I use up my guy who was the clipped version of this that hadn't been rotated? I think I might have done that. Alright. Well... fuck. Alright. Cut you. Do-do-do-do-do. Get out of here, Mr. Statue. You're in the way. So if I copy this, and then... does this work? Yes, okay. I think this still works. Okay, good. Flip horizontal is fine. That's a direct one-to-one mapping, so it doesn't fuzz. Okay, lovely. So we'll have our arches looking like this. And we'll say that's pretty close to the final positions that they'll be in. Yeah, those look like they are symmetrical-ish. I mostly don't care for the, you know, Magic doing its crossover sets, and the Final Fantasy set is not an exception just because it happens to be a property that now I have an idea of what it's about. But I will say that for having done that product that I don't think should exist, they did a good job of it. Like, it's full of delightful winks and nods to things that people find particularly memorable about different things, including such devastation. This was not my intention. Need to lurk? Lurk away. Alright. We got the arches. Now... yeah, that's gonna intersect with the wall, and that's just fine. We're gonna have our circle wall here, roughly. It's so bizarre that the Final Fantasy MTG set happened since a Final Fantasy TCG already exists. I'm not surprised that a Final Fantasy TCG set, or TCG game exists, but I will say I've never heard of it specifically. Trying to get this back to roughly a right angle at which it's intersecting this. That's not... Going up isn't helping with that problem, is it? Yeah, I may have to recalibrate that slightly, but that's basically what that's gonna be. So then... yeah. It's pretty nice, covers all the spin-offs like Crystal Chronicles and Tactics. Neat. Does it have, like, a competitive scene? Like, does it have all the infrastructure that builds up around a game like that to make it popular and successful? I guess a competitive scene is not necessarily what makes Magic popular and successful. It's, you know, mass appeal is what does that, but a actual competitive scene can be important for the health of a game. What if we just say fuck it and go like this? Just take our lumps here, and we go straight up. I think that can work. I think that's the best option out of several that are perhaps not quite ideal. So what we're gonna do then is let's just get rid of our wacky little paperclip shape there. And let's plan on, we'll plan on cutting the arches off Around here, I guess, if we want to stick to a grid. Because we can't make them any longer. So we're not going to be able to get them to reach the next grid line over. So probably we'll want to do this. MTG has basically become the Fortnite of TCGs. Yeah. Now that the universes beyond set are just going to be a core part of the game as it is played, including at the competitive level, which I'm deeply unhappy about. Yeah, no, that's pretty much accurate. I'm sad. I'm upsetty. But anyone who watches Gathering Cards or any of my other MTG content already knows how I feel, so I'm not going to bring it into the map-making stream. Oh, okay. I've just had a brilliant idea. I know how I can fix everything. We're gonna have the arch here, and then we're just gonna have... We're gonna have, like, a couple little, like, balconies. We're gonna have... It'll be like, I did something like that... Is it Foundation? Has its little temple? Yeah, so it's got like this little thing coming off of it. Do something like that here. And then no one can tell me that my angles are fucked up or weird. Because it's turning into curves. Turning into a hot pair of breasts on the side of my building. We'll just do like that. Yeah. And that'll... Yeah, because then... Ooh, yeah. So what we do is we make those also the same size as this. So like we do, you know... Or... What? Wait, hang on. I tried to make a new layer. New layer? Okay, thank you. Oh, it's because this black is above. Okay, I see. Anyway, point is, we make them the same size as this. You know, I'm just gonna freehand it. You know, like this-ish. We take that and make that its outline here so that you've got like a little tripod. You've got the circular part of the wall and then two little balconies here that maybe have like, I don't know, towers. They're towers. You can't prove they're not. I'll put tiny little circular stairs here. Yes, okay. That, it's like, it's even better than a column. I was talking about how you can fix weird jank wall angles by sneakily putting a column to connect them. Even bigger. Let's put a whole fucking guy here. A little circular space. And then, you know, that will have an interior wall. Two breasts on your building actually make a dick and balls. Checkmate. Yowie wins again. Maybe. This is pretty chody. If you read it that way, like this little extra wall is very short to be a dick with these being balls. Also, it's 3 balls because there's a circle here too, so I'm gonna call this not phallic. I did, however, I had the dick and balls problem a little bit with this map, and actually I changed the layout of this because also when I was doing this one, and doing the layout with this little section here cut out, I realized I'd accidentally made an Among Us guy. I have changed shapes before, in a blind panic after realizing I had done something I didn't mean to do. We'll have a little interior wall here with you know, like, we'll have stairs. They'll have to be a little larger than that, but... Oh, that's not what I wanted. Penis avoided! Pew! We hope. We hope. Yeah. So we'll do stairs here. And so this'll have wall, you know, like this. And then we'll just have straightaway wall coming up here, and it will look fine. Maybe here? I guess it depends how wide I want this next part of the building to be. I think we'll do this. We'll plan on this. And then I think we'll do wall like so. I'll have the same thing over here, so this will be up to about here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This comes down to here. And so, yeah, you'll have the circle. This is probably not quite correct, but yeah, I'll be like this. Doot, 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 doot. Okay. Think that is a satisfactory solution. Just make sure I didn't fuck this up right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Did you say he is within our group? I would say he is present. He is present as part of our collective. Okay. So if we got that roughly worked out. Yeah, I might still do the little, like, terrace-y stairs thing. That's like still a cool idea. But for now, let's get a general sense of the space coming out of here. And this next part, this is gonna be some length. But it doesn't have to be a ton, because we've already, basically, my goal with maps for this game, sometimes they're designed deliberately with mind given to the idea that they might have to serve as, like, battle maps. And much of the time, they are not. Much of the time, really my goal with a map is just to create a physical space that's a little more specific than what I could describe in Theater of the Mind, and to allow the characters to exist in that space and have physicality. And so we've got, we've got our entrance. We've got 2 spaces I can furnish in different ways on either side of this. 2 little chambers. And then I also need to decide where exactly the way down is going to be. Probably like, yeah, we'll figure it out. It's going to be something like this in general. And then that means we don't really need a ton of space up here, I don't think. Because I don't need to map this whole building or anything. I just need to give it the space that it needs to live up to my description. And so I think all I want here is I want this out to a certain length, and then I think I'll put I'll put like door, stairs maybe? if I want it to be symmetrical. I think this part of the building, it makes sense to be symmetrical. So I don't need a ton of horizontal space here. I think just, if you imagine, you know, a person is this size, is 1 square worth. This is sitting here like this. Yeah, I don't think this needs to be any wider than what I've already got penciled in for this part, if that. So for now, let's just say that this this line continues, unbroken. May the circle be unbroken. And as for how long it continues, I don't think it needs to continue for that long either. This is probably more space than I need. Like, this map already has plenty of space with a similar kind of mind to its layout. And we've got this stuff at the front on the same map, so really I think I'm just gonna go... get rid of this real quick. Let's decide where the stairs are actually gonna be. How about... I think I want them to be nice and big, grandiose. So let's say the stairs there. I'll leave myself a little extra space in case I want to do that terrace-y thing. Let's put the stairs here, 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 here. Do. The finest stairs you ever did see. And, I don't know, let's just end the room, like, here? Doors? Like this? Maybe we give it one more. Create a little more space, a little more separation from the stairs. Would you like this? Let's plan on that for now. Yeah. And... I don't know. I could add more, but when I'm mapping a building, I tend not to map all of the building. I just, you know, I'll typically do a part of it, like I've done, you know, basically the foyer for, you know, the White Sanctuary and the Runic colleges and stuff. Often that's what I do, and then if I want to map anything else, I'll just map, like, individual rooms. I don't care about creating a layout for the whole thing unless I'm designing it as, like, a dungeon, which at this time I am not. So, yeah, I think then we'll have this thing terminate, let's see, it's gonna have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares to its side. So, I guess we'll leave it 5 squares at this end? Or I could have it run the whole length of the room and just put bridges over it. That'd be kind of neat. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. If I can manage to clone stamp myself enough of this, this lava, which I'm, again, gonna have to rehue to this, but, you know. In fact, I should probably just do that now. Here. That should be roughly this, I think. Actually, I don't have to guess. I can just... yeah. Grab this. This is even actually long enough for me to, I don't know, maybe I'll just use this. And I still need to widen it out, but we can use this as a reference to try and get this to the correct hue. Let's see. Roughly that, I think. 129.5 is what I've got there. That's going bluer. If I go the other direction, that's greener. Like, that's too green. I'm looking at the color of the stone, mainly. I think I'll go with that. Interesting. Doesn't seem to have affected that quite the same. The stone is bluer still. Well. Whatever, chomps. We'll do that, and we got our Mountain Dew Baja Blast flavored lava. So let's down here, and then we're gonna need to make extra floor. I guess let's go ahead and you know what? I'll just use these. I must have done some additional, like, tinting or something on that after the fact, because it's not quite the same, and I do want it to match. So we'll do duplicate you, and then bring you over like this. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Do that, and this is gonna be above those, that, and this, and then this is gonna be, yeah. So what we need to do is just to do some good old-fashioned clone stampery. So let's... How about we grab from here about this size brush. Yeah, I don't have to worry about fucking up the top of this because it's not gonna be... It's gonna be off screen. So we're just gonna... Actually, I need to make this have a much more feathered edge so that it blends properly. Do and do like so. Okay. Actually, I do need to worry a little bit about fucking up this part at the very bottom. So let's. Okay. This doesn't look perfect, but it's a start. Yes, it's a start. Let's just grab something else so that I'm not copy-pasting the same thing over and over. Okay. So does that go far enough? Yes. Okay, lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Oh, this doesn't work at all. I forgot the fucking tile lines on the floor. Okay, that entirely ruins that plan. Instead of clone stamping like that, here's what we're gonna do instead. What we're gonna need to do then is to copy. Hide this for a second. We need to copy this. It needs to be perfectly lined up with the part that we're pasting over. So what we're actually gonna do, copy, paste, grab this, drag it over here. Make sure it's covering, is it going far enough? Yes, it looks like it, okay. So then, to blend it, we're just going to erase the edge. Oop, can't erase quite that far though. Where are those assets from? This is Gabriel Pickard pack called Save Verse Cave Fire Temple. Just erase the edge of this. Not far enough to uncover the part we're trying to avoid uncovering, but just far enough so that it blends a little with what was going on here. Alright, I fucked that up a little. You can see there's a line there, but yeah. That should work in principle. Yeah, I think that's good enough. If you want to see what these look like not tinted, we still have it open? Yeah. So it looks like this. It's a it's one of his packs that has a few building blocks, but it is focused mainly around pre-mades that you can connect to make large areas like this. Okay. So now, go ahead and we're gonna copy this, just duplicate this up here. And then we're gonna get rid of that and get rid of that. Okay, cool. So that runs the full length now. We're gonna need to do some clever stuff to extend this. But I want to make sure I have the boundaries laid down first. Okay, there we go. And then this one. Yeah, okay. So this one, likewise, we're gonna duplicate. Bring you up here. Okay, cool. And then here's our boy. Roy's our boy. Okay. So we pretty much just want to do the same thing. Let's get that out of our way. Copy this area of this guy. Copy, paste. And then bring you over far enough to cover up my sins. Yeah, that'll work. Hang on. Yeah, okay. How much extra do we have? Not a lot, but hopefully just enough. Okay, get my eraser. We're gonna go down, down on the edge of this to get as good of a blend as we can. Will it blend? I don't know why that show was called Will It Blend. The answer was always yes, it will blend. It's just a matter of how does it blend? How much force does it take? How difficult is it? But there was never any suspense as to the outcome. Alright. So then... yeah, we get rid of... we get rid of this part of this. And... this part of this. And... bring our guy back in. Okay, and then the rest of this that's in the middle, we're going to be covering up with Kool-Aid. So, now the challenge continues. We only have this much to work with of this lava. And we need it to fairly seamlessly fill this entire thing without it looking like a hideous repeated texture. And we can't use all of this because it's got a shadow on it that we do not want. So what we're gonna do, I think, let's grab the total extent of this that we can get away with. Basically this much. All the way to the edge. Okay, give me another one of those. Paste it over top of this. That didn't do what I wanted it to do, it doesn't seem. Copy. Paste. Okay, I think I had the wrong layer selected when I was copying before. Okay. So, oh yeah, this needs to be up. Okay. So, I think what we're gonna need to do... we flip this vertically. We don't want it to just sit like this, because then it's very obviously like a vertical flip with symmetry. I guess we could start with that, but we need to paint over parts of it to break that up a bit. But we start with that, and then... here. If we... Let's just clone stamp from, like, down here somewhere. Actually, we have a slide it shoot. This needs to... Let's merge this into one asset. Clone stamp from, say, down here. And just... well, that's not quite gonna work, because that's the center. But we do something like that, maybe? Oh, yeah. There is a clone stamp tool, yes. I use it a lot. If we do that, we're just trying to break up the symmetry a bit here and there. Let's, grab some of this. Paste it up here. Let's see. I'm gonna grab this little edge of this guy and bring him in there. Yeah, okay, let's try that. I guess let's also... Can we... I don't know that this is gonna work, really. but... actually, that kind of works okay. Keeps it, like, the repetition off rhythm from where the other side is repeating. We do like that. Yeah, okay. I think I'm satisfied enough with that. So, we take this. And, nope, that should be above. Okay, let's duplicate this and give it a 180-degree rotato, so it's not just mirrored. It's on opposite sides now. And then bring this down, and then do the little blendy blend. Yeah, bring it to like there, and then that in like that. Yeah, okay. Like, you can kind of see repetition in the, quote-unquote, the coastline of this, but it's actually not that bad, I wouldn't say. What we need then, I think, is let's grab one more of the original orientation. Let's give it a flip horizontal, and just... no, hang on, don't flip it. Yeah. Okay. Is it perfect? No, but I think that works pretty okay. I think finally what we'll do is we can try and strategically grab some bits and bobs out of this. The parts that aren't kind of made impossible to use because of the shadow. Ooh. Make that layer much smaller, just the size that it actually is. Yeah, give me, I guess, go ahead and make me a, actually, yeah, grab this, make this layer this, so that I can paste over parts of this, and then we can do a little clone stamping from this upper part, the parts that aren't covered by the shadow, and that'll let us get some stuff that we don't have otherwise. This needs to be higher, though. This needs to be above all of these. Yeah, okay. So if we grab... Yeah, you like that shit? A little blue there. And grab the side here, maybe, and break this up a little. I'm gonna have to be real careful because of where the shadow is, but let's try this. Yeah. Okay, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we can do one down here, say. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm happy. So, get rid of you. So we merge down this, this, this. Okay, and then let's crop to content. So we get the selection boxes out of here. How does this look? Looks pretty okay to me. That is a little weird looking, but actually I think I'm okay with that. Except for the fact that it repeats. That's not great. What piece of that are you, sir? Okay, you're this. Here, we're just gonna cheat. I said, You under something? I don't know. Look like it. Why is that not... Oh, hang on. Is this... No, it's not part of another layer. Now I'm confused. What are you doing to me? What's going on? Reopen that 9/11 investigation. You never know what you're gonna find. Alright. Yeah, fuck it. I don't care that much. We'll leave it like that for now. Alright, so we're gonna have this little... Our nice little, lava pool here. I forget. Does that pack have bridge-like things in it that I can put straight over this that are in the same style? Actually, did I make that a thing here? No, I didn't have to. Okay. Map assets. Save versus cave, fire temple. Do we got bridges on any of these? Let's see. Come on, OneDrive, you can figure it out. Okay. Not there. Not there. Stairs and platforms, but not above it. They're kind of just sitting on the surface of it. And I don't really think the tiles, the alternating, almost kitchen tile looking thing is a look I want to copy. No, it doesn't look like we quite have a thing that things are thing for that. Okay, so I'll have to cook something else up to just sit over top of this. I don't think that'll be a problem. I can make it look, I'll figure out what the floor is here, and I'll do it based on that. Figure something out. I can probably use these cobblestone bridges as a starting point again. Okay. I mean, this is still janky here, how it connects, or rather doesn't, to what's going on with the walls. But otherwise, yeah, I think this is fine. If I can, I'll try and focus a bunch of illumination here. I won't be able to make the shadows baked into the map go the right direction for the most part, in all likelihood, but I can probably get most of the same visual effect in Foundry, because Foundry has quite nice lighting and animation for lighting. So I'll be able to hue the room in this color and concentrate the illumination around this and have it taper off further from the edges of the room, so I think that'll give me pretty much what I want. Still many questions to be answered, but I think this is an okay place to leave it for today. I definitely have more of an idea of what I'm doing than I did before. Yeah, I'll have to figure out these little stairwell, balcony things. I gotta figure out what the transition is here, if it's just a doorway or if there's more going on there. The stairs in this should be simple. And then it's mostly just furnishing. Okay. I might be able to finish this map tomorrow. I had auditions and things to do today first, so I only got to spend this, 2 hours or so. But if I can spend a full work day on this, I can probably crank this out. And I may as well do it on stream. It's fun, I feel, to show my process. I'm gonna go ahead and I'll be putting a link to this up on the Patreon. So it'll have a VOD. It'll end up on my new the VOD channel that I have made for my my Twitch, which is right here if you're curious. I killed the music. Yeah, I'm using YouTube for all of my Twitch VODs now, including these. So it'll be on here. And if you're curious, that's going to be here. And also, if you are not already a viewer and you're curious what this is that this was for, this is the Patreon. This has all the info. I'll be putting up a stream link here as soon as I'm done. And yeah, I'll probably be back streaming Mapmaking again tomorrow if you're interested. So yeah, stop by, check it out, and we'll be getting our temple closer and closer to completion. Maybe I'll even have time to plug it into Foundry and tinker with the lighting. That'll be fun. But for now, I'll go ahead and call it there. Have a good Tuesday evening, everyone. Enjoy.